everybody, welcome back to the craft room. I hope everything is adjusted just right because I'm still using and trying out that different camera. I'm actually re-downloading some video editing software, some that I'd used before but I'm not putting because this computer does not have a CD drive on it and I don't want to go get the external one that we have, so I'm just downloading the free version, so everything will probably have a watermark on it, but I don't care, that's okay. Anyway, I hope everything looks okay. I know my hair is a little wild, but that's just the way it's been here lately. So I thought I would go through and show you what I've been up to since the last time we visited here in the craft room about yarn. It's been a while, hasn't it? So pretty much everything that I've been up to is in this bag right here. And please excuse if things don't look quite right because the only thing I can see is the front of the camera. I cannot see what I am actually recording. The only downfall to this camera. But before I get into this bag, let's start with this bag. I have started just a simple crochet washcloth. This is using a size, hold on, it's over here with this other project. Let me set that down there. I'm using a size J crochet hook. I don't know if you can see that. I guess I'll find out when I edit this, but this is a size J crochet hook. And I started out with the leftover Painted Desert, and I only had just a little bit of that. So I grabbed this red, and this is what I am going with next. And this is just a simple, I don't remember how many I crocheted, but it's a single crochet, chain one, and you skip a stitch, single crochet, chain one, etc. One of my favorite washcloth patterns, which is not perfect, but that's okay. Then the next thing that I did, and I don't have the ball band right here with me, I don't think. Oh, and I'm using it. So I grabbed some of this Scrubology. This is the, I don't know what it is. You know, the scrubby yarn. And I don't remember the colorway on this one, but it is a rainbow color, obviously. And I decided to try it. And I made this little scrubby thing. Hopefully you can see that okay. This is just the same pattern as what the washcloth was. And then I just folded it in half and crocheted it for a nice little double thick scrubby. Have not used it. I do still have a tail, obviously, because I haven't done anything else. And then I was watching Ella. I didn't like the way that this went through my fingers and I was having trouble seeing it and stuff like that. So I was watching Ella, no catchy name, and she was actually making some washcloths for Rose at Rose Likes Crochet for her wings donation thing, which that's not until September, I think it is, that she's collecting washcloths. But Ella was using some regular cotton and matching it with some scrubby yarn, and I was like, ooh, that's cool, maybe I should give that a try. So I did, and this is what I have so far. I really like this. Oops, that's upside down. There we go. I'm really liking it. It's like thick, and I'm doing the same stitch, the single crochet, chain one, skip. Kind of hard to see my stitches, but that's okay. They don't have to be perfect because these are going to be for me. And I can't wait to finish this up and actually maybe give it a try. So there's that one. And that project is, my craft room's a mess again. I'm sorry. It's just the way things are going. But also, another project that I have slowly, oh, there it is, been working on is the one that is in my craft cradle. Is that what I was calling it? I can't remember. But it had this Loom Knit Hat in it. And I'm using two different Red Heart colors. I don't know the colorways on these because these were already caked up for me when they were gifted to me. But this is like a really dark green, like a forest green. And then this really pretty teal color, which on the hat it almost looks black and teal. But I measured this the other day and I'm about halfway on the hat which is super exciting that I can have another hat to put in my stash. But the only time that I work on this hat is while I am here in the craft room. I don't work on it any other time. Now, the other thing that's sitting up here in my craft room that I have finished or kind of finished, I made a crochet hat. This is kind of weird. It's more like a shower cap or something. But I was just going along and the yarn had some cuts in it, like on the edges. So I just, tied them and went on it. And I like the way that it changed the striping on it. I think it looks pretty cool. And then my hat was a little bit too big, so I had to do a few decrease rows, so it kind of gives it a poofy, mushroomy type look, but it does fit my head quite well. This is going in my donation bucket, which more on that later. Then I grabbed this other yarn, which this is the back side of the hat. This is another scrap that I had. I thought there was going to be enough here because I thought it was going to be one of those little 3.5 ounce skeins of Red Heart, which 2 ounces is normally plenty to make a hat, but I only made it this far. So let me turn this right side out. And this one's done completely in the round. And all I got basically was the top of the hat. So I'm going to have to, that's what's left of the yarn. I'm going to have to find some yarn somewhere in my stash that I think goes with this really well and finish off the hat. So kind of excited about that when I get around to it. Then I can add this one to my bucket as well. Now, onto the bag that I just lost, that I was stacking everything on top of. Onto this bag, I have another finished hat. You guys will be super excited about this. And if you follow me on Instagram or you read my blog, most of these finished items and started new projects you have seen. So this is the Ross hat. I actually finished it with DP ends like I was supposed to. I did not cheat. And I'm super happy that the top is kind of crinkly because I pulled it a little too tight, I think. But the color pattern did not do any funky weird back reverse or whatever. It stays the solid all the way up. And this is the Red Heart Kaleidoscope. Not Red Heart. I love this yarn, Kaleidoscope. And this is what I have left out of that. And I have also made an itty bitty kitty out of this. So put this back on my shelf for something else later on. And I will put this in my donation bucket. And here's what I was saying about that yarn. My hook's actually hung up in it. They were just, on the inside there was just little strips like this. So I would pull them out and just tie them together randomly, however they came out. Because I wasn't sure if I was pulling the correct strips out when I was pulling the yarn to pull it up. And this is what I have left of that skein of yarn. This is a solid ball. It might have some tied onto it, I don't know. But I figured these random little ones I would just put in my scrap bucket, and they can be used for, maybe itty bitty kitty or something. And I do want to make an itty bitty kitty out of this for sure, because I think it would be absolutely adorable. And for what it's worth, the 3 that I had started, several months back, they are still unfinished in the bag that they were in. I have not even touched them. So don't worry about those. They're still in the works. The next project I want to show you is, remember that washcloth that I was working on? Let me find, it's probably here. It was the one that was in this shiny bag right here. And I was using this lime green. I hope you can see the correct color. That is kind of a lime green cotton yarn. And it was the all washed up washcloth. And I downloaded this free on Ravelry a long time ago, back before I got off of Ravelry. But you can probably still find it there. If not, it's just a simple pattern repeat. It's not real complicated, but for me it was super complicated. But I was able to manage to make it work. Now last time you seen it, I was right here. Okay? This is what I have accomplished since the last time that I seen you guys. And I do still have my tails, and there are some boo-boos. The major one is right here, if you can see that, hopefully. That was on a purl row, and I was all excited about my pearls, and I forgot to knit the last 4 stitches. But anyway, this is, it looks the same on the front and it does the back. It's really cool. I really like it. I have actually accomplished a knit pattern other than a stocking hat where I had to actually follow different rows of what, you know, different pattern rows. Thankfully it was pretty much the same, just, you know, a 4-row repeat. I am really happy with this. I can't wait to stick this into my washcloth stash and have it to use someday. So I'm going to take this stitch marker off now, since you guys know where I was at. I'm just going to, oh well, it fell on the floor. I was going to throw it up there, but it fell on the floor. So, since I finished that Kaleidoscope hat, the Ross hat, this one right here, I decided to start another hat. And I decided with this one that I was going to try and do something a little bit different than just the standard, I believe that's called stockinette, just knit all the way in the round except for your ribbing. So I went back to Ross's website where that pattern came from, Smells Like Yarn, and I downloaded his starting grid pattern. And if you're interested in this, you can also go get it. It's free on his website. It's called smellslikeyarn.com, and it's fairly simple. It is just a 2-row repeat until you start your decrease, and thankfully he has written out every row in detail of how to do the decrease. So I'm kind of looking forward to doing that. I haven't got too far on this yet. Let me show you what I'm using. I'm using some of this I Love This yarn, and it is the colorway Jazzed Stripes. It's kind of tan and teal and purple. You hear that noise? Steve's playing music kind of loud. But I am still working on the ribbing on this, and I've got all kinds of other stuff in here that I don't need. But this is what I have so far. I'm doing a 3-1 ribbing on it. I've got about 1 inch, I think, but that's what that looks like so far. I'm not real happy with my decision for a 3-1 ribbing. I wish I would have done something different, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I need to get it finished up and then start working on the body of the hat, which I'm kind of excited about that. And one thing, I keep saying this, and I'm serious about this when I say that I'm pretty positive that yarn manufacturers create yarn with knitters in mind. Because when you look at this, it's got the little short stripes. A lot of times in crochet, you will completely lose that little short stripe because your stitch takes up that, if not more, of the yarn. But in knitting, you actually don't lose those little short stripes, at least not very often, and they come out to where you can actually see, well, like down here with the purple and the brown, you can actually see the little short stripes in it, which I think is really cool. Part of the reason I want to knit, and the other reason is because I think knitting is stuff that is knitted looks awesome. I like the way it looks. And the last, I got one other thing to show you after this, and both of these are a pattern out of this book that I was gifted. It's the Knit and Crochet with Aunt Lydia's Heavy Rug Yarn for your home, for you and for your home. It's this right here, and this is, I don't know what the year is it on it, but it was printed in the USA. I don't know. But anyway, what I am creating is this rug right here. It's called Harlequin. And I started it actually with rug yarn because I was watching, and I'm not actually doing the challenge, but I was watching Lottie from Cancer is a Lifestyle. I can't remember the rest of her channel, but watching her channel, and she was doing a rug challenge, a mood rug challenge. And I was like, oh, that sounds so cool. I want to make a rug. So I actually dug out some of my rug yarn. And like I said, I'm not doing the challenge. I'm just, you know, doing this because she inspired me to do so. And I decided I was going to knit because I thought that looked really cool. But I grabbed this ball of rug yarn, which I have a bunch more different colors than this, and I got started. This is, I believe, on the correct size needles for what the pattern actually says, but it has a really neat texture. I don't know if you can see that. But with the pattern, you're supposed to do several strips and then join the strips together. Well, since I was out of projects and I didn't want to knit on my hat, I grabbed this ball of cotton yarn. It's like a dark purple. I think it's called wine. It's lily sugar and cream. And I actually am using, I don't know what size knitting needles. These are some that I had something else on that I frogged. But I started this with cotton yarn. And my thinking was that this would look really good on the new, well, it's not new, but new to us that we're using coffee table that we put in front of the new to us couch that we have. And this is the same pattern, but I think it actually shows up better with the cotton yarn than it does with the rug yarn, unless I goofed on that and didn't realize it, because I stopped and started this one actually multiple times. But hopefully you can see that. It's really cool, and I know this has boo-boos on it, but it's just a really simple 2-row repeat. And with this, I think I don't know what I'm gonna do, because the coffee table's only about that wide, maybe. So I might make like 4 different strips or 3 different strips, however many I need to go across it. Because I was thinking of like table runner, placemat, doily type thing, something like that. And the reason I use cotton yarn is so that we can set drinks on there and it doesn't mess up the table, because it is the vintage table. So yeah, that's basically, I mean, my bag is now empty except the book that I'm started reading. One of them. I also got another book that I'm reading too, but this is one that I own. The other one is one that I have borrowed from the library. It's a digital book. But that's what I've been up to. That's what I've been working on in my spare time, which I haven't had a whole lot of spare time here lately because we have been so super busy. It's like, oh my goodness, so super busy that I really haven't had a whole lot of time to do a whole lot of crochet or knit or loom knitting. And I really haven't been in my craft room. I don't know if you can see my, oh, I moved it. My calendar, which I know I filmed the video yesterday for my apartment garden update, which this is being filmed on the same day. But my calendar, the last date that I was in the craft room was on May 5th. And it is now May 25th. So it has been 20 days since I've been in here to really do anything. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for joining me here in the craft room. Hopefully I can start doing a few more videos than I have been here lately. No promises, but I'm going to try. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you have any suggestions or comments or recommendations for any of my projects, you can leave those down in the comments below, and I will check back with you right back here in the craft room for my next video.